I'm with Pima Medical Institute, and for this assignment, we're going to be talking about aging and disability. Um, this is for my aging and disability assignment. So looking here, it does ask what is your personal understanding of what it means to be old? What is your personal understanding of what it means to be disabled? So, what does it mean to be old to me? This is a hard one for me. I never really consider anyone old. I guess that I would say that aging is inevitable. I believe that a healthy 100-year-old could feel as sprightly as a child and with the wiles of a teenager. But as people age nowadays, they can be torn between an old and new set of values. Instead of quietly slipping into old age with all the slowdown that accompanies it, a new attitude expects seniors to socialize, absorb new technology, and be as vibrant as they ever were. What does it mean to be disabled? Well, to me, being disabled is being unable to do anything. A lot of people seem to think people who are like my size, heavier set, or somebody who is suffering with like disability or ADHD, that is a disability that they have and that it renders them unable to work, when that is not true. Um, Now, the second question was how much your understanding of aging and disability compared to someone of a different generation or compared to someone of a different culture. Well, older adults have different healthcare needs than younger groups, and this will affect the needs and demands placed on the healthcare system in the future. So older adults are more likely to suffer from chronic illnesses than us younger people. So for an older person, they may think that no matter what the disability that a younger person has, they are still able to work, they're still capable of doing things. Whereas an older person may not be so capable of doing it. And that's how that generation thinks differently from us younger people. And then there's posed another question. If someone in your family needed care due to aging and our disability, who would be responsible for that care and why? Would it be important that caregivers be family? What is your definition of family? Well, um, back in 2014, my mom did pass away. She became very sick in 2011. She became so sick to the point that she could not take care of herself any longer, and she really depended on us kids to take care of her. Um, I remember, helping her to the restroom, helping her get dressed, helping her get clean, such as take a shower or a bath, prepared food for her, got her whatever she needed. And and it was very important that my mom depended on us kids that she had because she didn't want some random stranger in the family there taking care of her. Um, and she felt more at home. I think that if she didn't have her children that were there taking care of her, I don't think she would have lived as long as she did. I mean, back in 2011, the doctor said she had maybe 6 months to live. She had 10% of her lungs left at that point, and they told us she had 6 months to live, but she ended up, being here with us for 3 more years because as her kids that were there for her, um, and I believe that to be very strong for a person who becomes disabled or very sick like my mom did. Um, Now it does ask in here what is your definition of family? My definition of family is someone who is there for you thick or thin, blood or non-blood relatives. Just family to me is people who are there in your life for you and who stick with you through the thick and thin. Um, you know, the people who care for you so much so that they would take the shirt off their back and give it to you. To me, family means everybody together to accomplish one major goal in life. Um, Now for part two, it does want me to select a topic. I did kind of dabble here a little bit on both a little bit, but I mostly went on with disability here. And it does say, describe in some ways in which your life has been impacted by aging or disability, either your own or someone else's. Well, as I mentioned, I am a girl who is on the heavier side, and this has cost me some jobs. Not gonna lie. When I've initially set foot into an interview and this medical office, seeing how heavy I was, they they indicated, they told me, like, you have such a bright personality, you're a great person, but we believe that you're not going to be quick enough. And I know a lot of this was due to my weight, because when a manager or somebody who is doing an interview for a job sees a bigger girl of my size, and this is a job, for a very physical job that you're interviewing for, they seem to think that being heavier seems just means you're going to be slower. No, I actually function just as well as somebody who is, per se, skinny, or um, not as heavy as I am. Now, also, I have friends out there with other disabilities, um, and such as schizophrenia, and people think this affects the way she works, but it doesn't. She's a normal person. So now they say, how about your understanding of aging and disability? Oh, I do apologize. I was reading a different question. Identify at least three statistics that feel provide important information on attitudes towards the aging or disabled in America and their care, and explain why you selected them. All right. So a negative attitude towards disability is one of the potential barriers for people with disabilities to achieve social equality. Although numerous studies have investigated attitudes towards disability, few have evaluated personal attitudes toward disability among the people with disabilities, and have made comparisons with attitudes of healthy respondents. Um, it was investigated and compared to the attitudes of people with disabilities, caretakers, givers, and the public towards disability and people with disability in China, to identify discrepancy in attitude among the three groups, and to examine potential influencing factors of the attitude within each group. A cross-sectional study was conducted among 2,912 people with disabilities, 507 caregivers, and 354 members of the public. Data was collected on the participants' socio-demographic information and personal attitudes towards disability using the Attitude to Disability Scale. These were applied to compare the level of attitude among the three groups. Simple and multiple linear regression analysis were used to investigate the relationship between each background factor um, and attitude within each group. Over 90% of the caregivers were people with disabilities family members. After controlling the socio-demographic characteristics, caregivers had the lowest total scores. Caregivers who had taken care of the people with disabilities for longer durations of the time had a more negative attitude toward disability. But why? They, out of all people, should know how the people with disabilities feel, especially since they've been their caregivers for so long. Um, so that statistic is very important to me, because it just shows how they feel. Now, it does say, in contrast, people with disabilities who have been disabled for longer times had a more positive attitude toward disability. And this is because they've lived with this disability for most of their life, and um, they've accepted it. Now, the last question here was, based on what you've learned so far in this course, explain how you feel we as a society can do better addressing the social and healthcare needs of the aging or the disabled. With that being said, I did do a little bit of research here. It says in the past century there have been significant increases in life expectancy in almost all regions of the world, resulting in an increasingly older population. In any ways, developing countries, developing countries, the increase on both have been much more rapid.